Good people, who I'm assuming are here. If there are any bad people here, go away. Here we go. This is called 1 week. Wake up. Bathroom. Cats fed. Coffee on. Right. Coffee. Or bathroom. Cats fed. Coffee on. Garden. Right. Coffee. Or wake up. Crack open. Coffee on. Bathroom. Cats fed. Shatter. Assess damage. Stop. Coffee. Right. Or right. Wake up. Sleep. Wake up. Iced coffee. Coffee on. Right. Coffee. Right. Sleep. Coffee. Right. Coffee. Sleep. Or sleep. Right. Sleep. Or sleep. Coffee on. Garden. Cats fed. Coffee. How did I forget the litter box? The opening of blinds to daylight, the cursing of the bills, the running of the mouth inside about what is read and unread on the bedside table. How did I forget to say I am not alone enough and lonely more than not? How did I forget to say that I'm churning with questions? How are my mother, my sister, my lover, all my tragicomic friends, all the deadly senators, all the fucking style prisoners, the morning becoming sexually awake, the spiritual evening of entire mountains, the time zones and islands and orphans and smugglers of orphans, the smiles of how many better equipped than I am to take on what I've got to wrestle. Or wake up, lie there, reach across the bed, imagine what I must write, lose it before the first cat is fed, coffee on, die a little, grieve the loss, coffee, right. I every once in a while you got to do the Ursula K. Le Guin used to talk about every once in a while a piece of writing will come to you that is a what she used to call a bung puller. The bung, of course, is the stopper in a barrel of wine or liquor or something. And if you pull the bung, it floods out all of a sudden. And I feel that was a bung puller in some ways. It was sort of like a stream of consciousness that came out. This one's less that. Called a star, a particular star. As a child, I loved a star, a particular star. Did not know its name, just where it hung in the sky all spring and how it moved over time. And I would look for it there, then over there. Now I cannot find it anywhere. Do not even know where to look. Forgot directions and orientation and when it shows itself off to best effect. I am old now, and I live in the city now, where there's so much light at night, it's not worth trying to find my star or any other. Pollution, light pollution, they call it. My brain is smogged night and day, and if I could find that star, it might help, or it might not. But what I miss most is seeking it across the entire sky, finding it among the others. Pointless now to even try. Instead, I sit by, looking to the flow of myself into mess, hoping to see something there, glint of sunlight on a foul wave, tumbling bit of trash caught in an eddy, to help me recall how to find star, a particular star. Hello, Marissa, along with everybody else. Yeah, I am slowly dealing with some of the the issues of getting older these days. Between diabetes and general health issues, I'm also dealing with the fact that I just lost my father in February at 89 to Parkinson's disease after a long, long, long struggle. And my sister's not particularly well. And so I'm taking increasing shares of caregiving duties for my 94-year-old mother. We are having to make decisions about care and stuff like that. And I'm struck by this constant back and forth about who I was and how I grow up and where I'm at now. And this piece kind of spoke to that a little bit as we're going forward. It's an old one. I think this was originally written back in 1994. So Rich, you might remember this one. I recently revised it and it's included in a new manuscript. I'm actually getting together a first real manuscript, and it's basically a collected poems type thing. And I've done billions of chapbooks and ebooks over the years. But this is one that has sort of lasted for a while. It's been revised a million times. It's called Magellan's Song. When I speak to you of the way this is, your eyes widen in surprise or astonishment. The right word makes so much difference when one tries to describe the way this is. It seems sometimes that there are no right words to carry my full meaning. Do you think I would speak to you of hearts or say forever, that I would use tired words remotely resembling those dry and familiar forms? If I instead had language that could make how I feel more clear, all I have for you is known and common, a few small words offered too early and too often. But I promise you, if I had been alive in mythic times, I would have invented language that would have the syllables I need. Every word would have been a nail in the ark that saved all the couples of the world. The covenant bow that was revealed after the rain had dried would have colors only you would be able to see. I would have been clear enough to have torn Babel down all on my own. If I had the right tongue, I could reform history with improbable, impossible words. If I had the tongue I need to speak my mind today, I swear I could remake the world, hold it in the corners of my mouth, then offer its fresh contours to you in a song of Magellan, the circumnavigator, now just barely remembered, but once his name was the leading edge of a legend, an arc of hope from known to unknown. If I could speak the words I need, I would conjure him, spell him into life this morning, put him to use as we sink our toes into this cold Atlantic sand. Look at all that horizon out there. Its dark line, the promise of unseen shores. To reach it, we will need new vocabulary. For now, this is all I can bring myself to say. Come closer, stay close. Sunrise can't be too far away. That's that one.
Yes.
A love poem without the word love in it. I try that all the time. It's like writing a poem about jazz and not mentioning the word jazz once. It's that type of thing as you're doing it. Okay. So thinking about remaking the world. In that case, it was very much an attempt at a love poem. I don't write a lot of love poems, at least not for public consumption. But yeah. So I mentioned my father died back in February, and they just recently set his headstone. The headstone was like delayed. It's a supply chain delay because the headstone came from India. For whatever that's worth. You got black marble. It's coming from India in terms of that. So this is called headstone. As soon as I heard that they'd set my father's headstone, I went to see it. The carelessly curated stack of memories and imagined moments that should have happened, but did not. Wrapped up tight, like a deck of worn index cards with the essentials written in carpenter's pencil on each one. Rubber band holding it all together so they would not come undone in my pocket. Elastic, so old and blackened from age that to attempt to open the pack and sort truth from lies from wishes would have meant losing the whole of it to wind or vagaries of chance revelation. I'd hoped to leave them on the base of the marker, then turn and go, but here they still are, stubborn and uncut, back in my junk drawer. Thick writing in crude lead, unfaded, cryptic but clear. I'll touch them now and again. Whenever I go fishing, for a tool, for some stubborn home repair, far beyond my capacity to achieve. Yeah, my dad could fix anything. I can't fix anything anymore. How we doing? Questions, thoughts, comments, insults? Anyone?
Good. Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, Tony, and I do remember that poem.
Magellan song. It's
I'm
really
just-
old. Yeah.
I'm just going to add an insult here. Just
Sure.
assume I did.
Okay. Assume I'm hurt.
Imagine one. Whatever would be most insulting. Imagine that's what
No.
Hamish said.
Now I'm sad. Now I'm sad. So, all right. So anybody who reads me regularly knows that there might occasionally be a touch of political information in some of my poems. So we will now be moving into some of the touches of political information in some of my poems, which connects to this whole feeling of getting old and reaching the point where you're resigned to the fact that things are never going to be the way they used to be, if they ever were, or that maybe now you're seeing it. So with that in mind, it's called Wires Got Crossed. Third floor neighbors had a lovely cat who went nuts one day and attacked and drew blood from all who came near. No disease, no injury was found after they put her down. No one could explain, the vet saying only that no one knows sometimes how wires get crossed. I got up to pee last night, and grandmothers, none of them mine, were everywhere in the house. Musty old aprons aflutter as they thronged the rooms, silently disapproving of everything. I came out of the bathroom and they were gone, with only the scent of lilac water and disdain left behind. I went right back to bed as if nothing had happened, as if no sacrifice or offering could or should be made in response. It's faintly ridiculous to hear all this talk from all sides about saving the country, when the country in question is as dead as a room full of broken, disappointed grandmas and as savage as a cat in a third floor walk-up who hasn't been outside for years and chooses violence and death as a worthy way to go. I don't know why any of this has happened. Why I don't keep sage in the house against such things as I once did. As if I don't understand how wires get crossed. All right, so I got a little alert about my audio quality being screwed up. How was that?
That was
Sounds
good. Yeah, at times is like a little something, but it's not too bad. It's just like in and out, kind of like.
Okay, as long as you're functioning. I don't know what could have caused it. I mean, this is an old. My house is 100. This apartment is 132 years old. So
the closer you get to the screen, the richer your voice gets.
Yeah, it's because I was actually, when I first got here, I was trying to arrange a different mic setup, and I'm just basically using the mic and the webcam right now. I am currently right now, and this is driving me nuts, just so you all know. I am currently driving right now into I had to get a Windows machine. Now, you need to understand that for someone like me, this is like blasphemy, because I've been on Macs since forever. But I had to get a Windows machine because I have a client who uses an application during presentations, and it is only available for Windows. So I'm trying to work with this so that I'm more familiar and more comfortable depending on how much I do with this. So I'm hooked up to an HP laptop tonight, which pisses me off. But we'll move on from there. So the ancient MacBook Pro is in the other room. I have two of those, and they work just fine for 90% of things. They're like ancient. So, all right. Well, as someone said, they usually head for the hills when things get political. There'll be more of that, but there's a break first. So as I mentioned, this is a 3-decker in Worcester. A 3-decker in Worcester is you have minimal land, and the soil is dangerous because you have no idea what's been buried here over the years. So I have a container garden off to the side. I do my tomatoes and eggplants and whatever. This year it's just tomatoes and eggplants. It's called Wednesday for a change. Heat's off. Sun way up. Just planted tomatoes and eggplants are looking right and upright for a change. Trash bagged and out on the curb. Recycling bins full, but intact. Nothing got at anything left out overnight for a change. Not a single dead opossum or skunk on the road, in scent or sight for a change. The neighborhood can hunters banter pleasantly as they divide the homes between them, and everything gets put back in the right place for a change. It's nothing out of the ordinary when the ambulance arrives for someone in the greenhouse across the street. But this time, someone is stretchered out. It's been a while since that happened. At least their face is showing this time for a change. Right up the street sit the tow trucks to move the cars that block the path of the street sweepers, who finally have come to fulfill the prophecy of the signs hung so long ago, no one still believed it would happen. Least of all on a Wednesday, trash day, can picking day, garden getting started day, save the life of my child day. All happening at once for a change. Yeah, you know how they hang street sweeping. Get your cars off the street, and then they don't come for weeks, and you have no idea when it's actually going to show up. The tow trucks are actually going to show up. Oh, crazy. So,
I love the repeating for a change in that one is
thank you.
Really well placed.
Thank you. I don't write a lot in form, but in terms of the standard formal forms. But most of my poems do have some kind of form to them, regular stanzas, repeated lines, anaphora, stuff like that. I like digging with it. It's years of being, part of it is years of slam, where you're looking for rhythms and stuff that'll catch people. And an awful lot of it is the fact that a lot of these pieces eventually get performed at least once with the band, and having regular rhythmic sections and to sort of make that work. So
yeah, I write in a very similar way. I don't write a lot of forms, but there's always a definite form to my poem. Yeah,
right. That's definitely how I work it too. And here's another example of that. So here's where we sort of sit on the border between reminiscing about good things and reminiscing about bad things, thinking about bad things. This is called Recess. Stop playing musical chairs with people who are told beforehand when the music will stop, so they're always ahead of you in getting to a seat. Stop playing double dutch with people who can tie a noose in the rope and catch you by the neck in midair before you touch down. Stop pretending life is no longer grade school. It will always be battleground recess every day. Stop thinking that bully and bullied isn't the name of the big game we start playing early and are made to play until very late. You have choices. Pick a side or walk away. Play the role written for you or write another game for yourself to play. But whatever you choose, stop pretending the streetlights are not yet on and it's not time to come in from the dark before it gets too dark to win. That's Recess. I just have a couple more for you. This is an older piece, and it's the setup for the final piece. This is another one that's in the new manuscript, and I've been thinking about it a lot. And we're back to the garden and the house and fun stuff. I pull bricks one at a time from where they've been embedded for years in a decorative ring around in the soil around the base of my big oak, and then carry and stack them a few at a time along the back fence. They may once have been part of some foundation, once may have been solid and crucial. Now they just dull my mower blade. It's not that I need to mow this scrub lawn too often. It's just that the way my money's going, I may never be able to afford another mower. I don't know why I should save these old bricks, except they were here before me and were built to last. So I tell myself they might come in handy eventually when the world changes and I'm back on my feet. But secretly, I know why I'm loath to toss them. Today or tomorrow, a target might present itself. So we come to the close. This is a very recent poem, and it's the sort of the centerpiece of my latest ebook for my patrons on my Patreon. This is the one Jeff asked me to read, and I was going to read. There's three in a sequence, and I was going to read all three, but I was like, yeah, no, that's a good one. We'll do this one. And it was all spawned by Twitter. There was a comment on Twitter immediately following the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. And a writer named Madeline Rue on Twitter posted the following comment. I don't want to see a poem unless it's wrapped around a brick. The immediate urge that we all have to turn material into art sometimes gets me. And yeah. So this is poem to be wrapped around a brick, and it opens with that quote. I don't want to see a poem unless it's wrapped around a brick. Madeline Rue on Twitter following the Roe v. Wade reversal. This is a poem to be wrapped around the brick because the sound of breaking glass swells a crowd, which then surges in the direction of the shattering, because a crowd is necessary for what comes after the glass is broken, as reading a poem out loud only does so much in so much noise, because so much needs doing, so much glass to break. This is a poem to be flung through those windows because paper has proved itself untrustworthy. Because rewrite this poem in gasoline, then stuff it into bottles also full of fuel. Because a good match held to the poem before launching will turn it into a fire anthem against the now sunless sky. This is a poem to be hurled at the sources of darkness because it's not their war to win. Returned as projectile, as remonstrance, as reminder that this cannot stand against the fire this time. Next time. No more poems unless they're written in blood. Thank you all. That's my feature.
Brilliant, Tony. Great to hear you again.
Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah. It was yeah. It's very difficult to sort of I'm 62. I have multiple health problems. I'm watching my family shrink and the world shrink and all kinds of stuff going on. And it's a time that I am personally finding very difficult for reasons that are not only related to the political climate and what I see coming. I'm a pessimist anyway. But just it's sort of hard to be here right now. And if I leave anything behind, I hope I leave some of this behind, because I don't know how many people going to be around to read it, that kind of thing.
Thank you, Tony.
That's it. There you go. Yeah.
It's,
Thank you.
there's
Thanks
going to
for
be
having
plenty
me.
of people. They just won't be able to read.
Yeah, something like that, I guess. I don't know. They were just saying that functional literacy in the United States has gone down to below a 6th grade level. And like by a huge amount, the number of people who are reading at 6th grade or below. And that is considered to be the level at which critical thinking best takes place, is right at the 6th grade level or above. And
It's almost as if there's a connection.
it's almost as if it's planned.
Right?
Yeah, it's a tough one. So my one redeeming piece is that I'm, in its own way, redeeming, at least for me, is that I'm not going to be around a lot longer. More is gone than is ahead, and I know that. So it is what it is.
Hey,
Tony, I want to.
check this out.
I think you got the best of it.
Tony, I just want to say thank you.
That's
it's so
depressing.
good to see you.
That's the depressing part, because that's the truth.
Yeah, probably. Ugh.
I just want to say, Tony, it's great to hear you and see you, and hear the new work. And I say that as somebody for whom you have been an inspiration for a very, very long time. It's true. It's true. And I have a recollection of buying, or maybe I don't know how it worked out, getting that one of those first chapbooks of yours at the Place of Definitions. I don't know, centuries ago. In at Elaine's Midnight Cafe.
That's pretty much number. That Place of Definitions. That's number one. That's number one. That's
I've got
the
that
first
somewhere here.
chapbook I ever did.
I have it somewhere. And I remember being young and not that I'm not young now, but I mean being young, like being not young, stupid and young, and seeing you at a cafe and thinking that I had a real good thing going for like my approach. And I remember seeing you in it. I hope this comes off the way I mean it, but it slowed me down. And I appreciate that. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, as long as you appreciate it, then it came off the way that you said it. If you had said, "You fucker,"
Listen here.
So, by the way, the building where Elaine's was, of course, is now an Italian restaurant, which got good reviews, but I never went there. But it's being torn down for condos.
Oh my God, no!
Because it's Worcester. Yeah.
Elaine's Cafe was this place that was kind of in the industrial district of Worcester, if I remember right, and it was on a little hill. And
it was on a big hill.
Yeah,